Hello everyone and welcome to Macau for the finale of the Formula Trout Formula Lithium Championship. This is round 8 of the season and what a place to hold a finale! Macau, the streets of Macau. and this is going to be an absolute thriller. We have a close championship fight for you today. As you can hear, your regular commentator, Ross McIntyre, I always say McGuire, Ross McIntyre is not available today, unfortunately, but I'm going to be doing my best to carry this broadcast without Ross's excitable commentary style. We do have, as I said, a championship finale for you today. Maxi Younger comes into this race just 3 points ahead of Oscar Williams, and with 2 races ahead of us, it really could go either way. Race 1's going to be critical as you score more points in race 1 than points in race 2. Although actually, this qualifying session that we're watching now is going to be relatively critical in and of itself. Because you get 1 extra point, and that could be critical considering exactly what we've seen in the season so far. 2 teammates, of course, going at it, the Vermin Racing Team guys, and they have already wrapped up the Teams Championship. Such is the dominance of Vermin Racing Team. It's very similar to what we're witnessing in the Premier Series at present, the Hybrid Series. Also, of course, involved in the championship success was Jack Smith and Richard Tippett, who both also scored points for the Vermin Racing Team effort. And Smith is here today as well, so we have 3 Vermin Racing Team cars out there. 2 of them, of course, fighting for the championship. So, Maxi Younger is about to start his first flying lap, and as I said, this one could be critical. Laps later on in the session do tend to be the quickest, although at Macau you have a high chance of coming across crashed cars, other obstacles, being held up by yellow flags, etc. On your final lap if you're not careful. So it's very easy to have that taken away from you, and to not end up going faster after all. So Maxi Younger starting his lap, heading through the Mandarin corner, very fast, very dangerous. If you clip the inside wall there, you are pretty much doomed, and it can be very nasty. Now down into turn 3. This corner does have a name, although I can't remember it, so I'm going to search up a track map. But that is where we're going to see a lot of the overtaking. The genius of this track is that there are 2 different sections to it. You have the mountain section, which Younger is going up now. I say the mountain section, it's more just hilly. And this is very much tight, single file, and very difficult to race on. But if you can survive the cars bunching up through this bit, then you reach a fast, flat out section with 2 long straights. And that's where you end up seeing the overtaking, and that's where cars can really shuffle the order before being slotted into a single file formation once again. This, of course, the gear circuit in Macau, and I'm saying that to myself just as I search it up on Wikipedia. The turn 3 corner that I was talking about is known as the Lisboa, or the Lisboa corner, and that's the one, of course, where as Younger hits the wall down into the hairpin. That's not going to help his lap, and touches it on the exit as well. We'll see a lot of drivers doing that today. That, of course, being the Melco hairpin. Now, you notice the yellow and green stripes on the track surface. That is because there is actually no overtaking allowed between those lines during the race itself. So if you cross the yellow line, you're not allowed to go past the car in front of you until you cross the green line, and that's because it's quite easy to do a dive bomb down into the hairpin, but much harder not to end up with several cars stuck into the barrier on the outside, creating a massive traffic jam. So it's a very good idea to have a no overtaking zone through there, and in this series we've actually marked that on the track, which of course isn't the case in real life. Youngest lap was a 2:15.765, which is pretty quick actually, a little way ahead of Martin van Land and Gustavo Della Valle so far. Those are the top 3. Keith Willems, the only other driver who set a lap. We're watching Roman Rattel, and as Dave Southwood puts his car 4th. I'm not sure how many cars are on the server right now. I think it was something like 9 or 10 cars that set laps in practice. So maybe that's what we're expecting. I would hope for a little bit more in a championship finale, but even so, Macau is going to be exciting. There you see the green line, and Oscar Williams goes to the top of the order over a second faster than Maxi Younger. So that is first blood to Oscar Williams in the championship battle. And again, as I said before, you do get a point for pole position here. So that could be absolutely crucial. That is a very quick lap. Now, of course, this is a long circuit, so it's not unusual to see relatively big gaps between the leaders. But 1.4 seconds, that's pretty extreme there. Maxi Younger has a lot of time to find here. So 10 drivers have at least crossed the start-finish line. Several of them have not set competitive lap times just yet. You see how stretched out the order is. 21 seconds between the whole field. And I can guarantee that won't be the case come the end of the session. You just have to wait for everyone to set a representative lap time with no mistakes, with no lifting off before the end, etc., etc. So Williams now heading down towards the. This is the. No, that wasn't the Donna Maria corner. He's heading down to Police, I think, which will come up very soon. There's Police, the famous site of the big Macau GT collision with millions and millions of dollars of damage, if you get that reference. Through now, here's the Donna Maria and Donna Maria 2 corners. And then, of course, next comes the Melco hairpin. Younger's gone to the top once again, 214.333. That's wide from Williams, but he keeps it out of the wall. And that's important through there. Across the green line and down the straight, Gustavo Del Valle improves to 5th. Now, those two times are very, very close between Younger and Williams there. The Welsh Dragon of Williams on the helmet. As he goes towards the final few corners of the lap. This turn here, well, never mind, he's going into the pit lane. So Oscar Williams setting up for one final run in this session, I expect. Here's Philip Ola in the. You see, that's the kind of livery I always associate with Formula E. It's very kind of electric looking. In fact, electric blue, I believe, is the name for that color. And that, of course, is the Motorsport team. And he improves on his time, but stays 7th, passes a car on a pit exit, and goes around for another lap into Mandarin. Mandarin, one of the scariest corners that you can imagine. Looks a little wider here than it does in real life, and that's because there aren't tyre walls on the inside or outside, like there are in real life. Down into Lisboa, and up the hill towards the tighter section. If you find yourself stuck behind a car into this bit, you know you've got a long wait, just staring at the rear end of the car in front of you. Is Maternity, known as, or at least the right-hander here is Maternity, known as that because I believe there's a hospital on the outside with a maternity ward. Teddy Yip is the left-hander here, an interestingly named corner, I believe probably named after someone called Teddy Yip. Solitude S's. Very aptly named because there is no way that you will be going through this section in anything other than solitude. It's very much single file. Pile is the left-hander there. Don't know what that means. And then Police is a difficult corner because it's bendy in the braking zone. You're braking and turning at the same time. And anyone who knows these cars knows that's a recipe for disaster. Slight touch of the wall through Moorish from Philip Ola. He's down on the leader by quite a way through here, although may still be improving his time. Dalla Valle in front of him improves, although stays 6th. Down into the Melco hairpin, different people taking different lines, just trying anything to avoid doing exactly that, bouncing off both barriers, the outside and the inside, and losing himself a lot of time in the process. So that's going to be, I'm not sure that this will be an improved lap from Philip Ola, although potentially, because his last lap did have a few mistakes in it. This corner known as Fisherman's here. And then the final turn, no, that was the final turn there, sorry, Fisherman's was the previous one. And Ola does not improve. So Maxi Younger is out on track. I think he's on an out lap, setting up for his final flying run, or one of his final flying runs. Of course, the disadvantage of having such a long circuit is that you get fewer attempts in qualifying. It's one of the reasons that the circuit is so difficult. It's because, especially in qualifying, it's because you've got to push hard. You only get a few attempts. And if you mess up those attempts, then you're going to be starting well down the order. And if there's one circuit where you don't want to be starting well down the order, it's here. I guess there are some circuits where it would be worse, like Monaco, for example, or Po, which is a similar street circuit to Monaco. But here at Macau, it can definitely affect you, as you're going to have to wait pretty much a full lap before you can start to overtake people on the straights. These cars do have push-to-pass systems for if you do find yourself in trouble overtaking someone. You're only allowed to use it twice. It's like attack mode in real Formula E. And you're not allowed to use it in qualifying. So what you're seeing here is pure performance. It's drivers pushing their cars to their limits without any extra aids. Jack Smith goes to the front. It's a Vermin 1, 2, 3. And he'll be hoping to keep out of the way of the championship fight between his teammates. But as Williams bounces off the barrier, hopefully doesn't pick up too much damage from that. These cars can be quite robust, especially in Assetto Corsa, which is a simulator not known for heavy damage. Williams still on it, still going for it. He was through the Solitude S's. He was so smooth, so clean. The line he was taking is exactly the line you'd expect a car to take through that. And unfortunately, it all started to go a little bit wrong when he reached police. But anyway, towards Fisherman's. That's the Fisherman's corner I was talking about. The wall comes out to greet you on the outside, as Williams discovers that. And then the final turn. He can't afford to go back into the pits because he's not going to get another attempt otherwise. Villapola improves to 6th as we talk. Out of the final corner comes Williams. Not sure if this will be an improvement. And it is, and he jumps ahead of Younger. Now, neither of these drivers are on course to pick up the point for pole position, but he has jumped ahead of Maxi Younger with that one. And that's important in his championship challenge. Here is Maxi Younger, touching the wall just like Williams did on the exit of police. Very similar line through there. Which means that he may well be on a very similar lap. Through the left-hander. All of these drivers know that they aren't driving perfect laps here. There are definitely opportunities for improvement for any and all of these drivers. That was a good line through the Melco hairpin, keeping it very wide on the outside, and then putting the power down exactly where he wanted to. That looked strong there from Maxi Younger. Rattel now improves to 8th, beats out Keys Willems. Towards the final corner comes Maxi Younger on what could be a crucial lap. He'll only get one more opportunity after this, if he has the fuel for it. Out of the final turn, towards the lights. Where's this going to put Maxi Younger? Oh, he stays 3rd. He may still get another attempt. He may still get another attempt. Let's look at Williams, because Williams is on that final attempt that I mentioned. He's down on Smith's time, and it looks as if he's down on his own time in that sector there. Only just though, definitely some time to improve, and here's a place where he can definitely gain on it. I look decent, not quite as quick as the line that I thought Younger took, but it looked decent. Final couple of corners coming up. What's he got in a straight line? What's his setup like? Through Fisherman's. Doesn't touch the wall on the outside. One more corner, and he may get another lap at this rate. I think he's just going to miss out on it. Final turn. Ola improves to 5th. Watch Williams now. He's going to miss out on another attempt, but what's the lap going to be? He improves, and he misses out on pole by 0.005 of a second. That's got to be gutting for Oscar Williams, although it may make it difficult for Maxi Younger to beat him. That could make all the difference. Jack Smith still holding pole position. Dave Southwood improving to 4th. I feel sorry for Jack Smith because he's done an amazing lap, and we're not focusing on that at all. We're focusing on Williams and Younger behind him. Also, look at the gap that the Vermin guys have over the rest of the field. The top 3 are Vermin racing cars, and then there's over a 2-second gap between Younger and Southwood. That is how dominant the Vermin racing team is. It is very much a 3-car race right now. Maxi Younger towards the line. This could be crucial. Will he pick up the extra point? Carkeon in the Twitch chat pointing out that pole might not be where you want to be because you could get slipstreamed into turn 1. That's very true, but they'll be wanting that extra point. Out of the final corner, Maxi Younger towards the line. And across the gantry. And he goes pole! Maxi Younger gets it! He's the only driver in the 213s. Fantastic stuff from Maxi Younger. He gets the point, and his lead in the championship is now 4 points rather than the 3 he came in with. That was a very climactic qualifying session there. Very, very climactic indeed. Maxi Younger takes pole position, followed by Jack Smith, Oscar Williams, Dave Southwood, and Martin van der Laan. That was fantastic stuff. And now the cars sit on the starting grid, ready for race 1. It's going to be Philip Ola 6th. Gustavo Dalla Valle will be 7th. And I can't see the rest of the order right now because the screen's changed. But anyway, fantastic stuff from qualifying. And I'm very much looking forward to these 2 20-minute races here. And I should use this opportunity to very quickly say thank you very much to Carlos Scomanis for streaming this broadcast for me. I'm not actually in the server watching it in the conventional way because this is a paid mod, and if I was going to be doing a full season of this, then I would certainly have got it myself. Although I thought it was too much for a one-off race. So thank you to Carlos. You've saved me a couple of bucks there. Anyway, just a few seconds to go until the start of the first of 2 races here. It's going to be 20 minutes for both, and I'm not sure we need any break here. But thank you to Carlos for offering that. In terms of race 2, I'm just trying to look up how. So is there like a reverse grid? I should have checked this sooner, but anyway, I presume there's a partially reverse grid maybe. Sorry for not doing much of my research there, but anyway. Sorry, what was that, Carlos? Top 10 reverse. Okay, so that's what we'll be expecting for the start of race 2. The top 10 in the order will be swapped, and I think only 11 cars actually set laps in qualifying there. So there's going to be one really unlucky driver, possibly the first to retire, or if there are no retirements, then the driver to come last, who will have to start last in race 2 as well. That would suck to be in that situation and know that you're the only one not benefiting. Or I suppose the leaders don't benefit, but you know what I mean. So, which of the Vermin racing cars is going to win this race? Will it be Maxi Younger? Will it be Oscar Williams? Will Jack Smith stay out of the way of his teammates, or is he going to get involved in the fight? That would be interesting to look out for. Smith, I expect, is here to bring home a 1-2-3, although as we have 1 minute until the race start. Although of course he could get involved and get in the way. Anyway, hello to everyone in the Twitch chat. Good to see so many people here, and looking forward to it. Alex Cochran confirming that race 2 top 10 on the grid is reversed. Thank you for that. Vermin Art pointing out in article 4.8 section 8-C4, it states that Alex knows all the rules. Fantastic, yeah, indeed. Certainly seems that way. Alex Cochran, one of the most experienced drivers in Formula Trout. 20 seconds now until the start of the race. And if you want to leave your predictions in the Twitch comments, we'll come back to them at the end and see how well they aged. Anyway, the lights preparing to come on. We have 6 red lights, and when they go out, we'll be underway for 20 minutes at Macau. And it's go! It's go, go, go! The Vermin cars lead away. And that looked like a decent start for Younger. Younger leads through Reservoir. Smith still second. Williams pulling out of the slipstream. The rest of the field spreading out behind. It's Southwood who's best of the rest so far. Into Mandarin. It's difficult to go side by side through there. They just about manage it. Whoa, big slide. Someone in the wall there. And I think, is that Dalla Valle potentially? No, it's Ola, and I think Dalla Valle was caught out as well. And Thomas Marshall right at the back as well. So some contact out of Mandarin as Younger taps the wall on the exit of Lisboa. So it's Younger leading from Williams and Smith, the 2 championship protagonists, first and second, and I imagine that's how they're going to stay. Southwood is best of the rest. Then it's Van Land, Rattel, Williams, etc., etc., with Ola, Elston, and Marshall, and Dalla Valle, of course, all getting involved in the accident out of Mandarin. And whatever caused that, it's going to have damaged some people's suspensions and race aspirations. Now, through the twistier section of the circuit, this is the part where it's harder to overtake. Now, Younger and Williams have already used up one of their push to passes each, possibly to make sure that they stayed ahead of their teammate Jack Smith. Smith did not use the push to pass. Southwood did. He's the only other driver, other than the Vermin racers, to have used the push to pass. So that means that Younger and Williams have got to use it tactically. And we may end up seeing a stalemate here, because if Williams pushes the push to pass, and then Younger sees him doing that and covers him off by also pushing the push to pass, then they'll both end up with the same amount of power down the straight, and you'll end up with a bit of a stalemate. But anyway, Thomas Marshall now into the top 10, and Jamie Elston to the back, so maybe Elston was badly affected, or more badly affected by that starting incident than his opponents. At the end of the first lap, we're about to see some slipstreaming taking place, potentially. Maxi Younger is going to lead us on to the second lap of the race. Now, Will Williams use the push to pass this time around? Or is he going to wait for it and use it tactically later on? He's not particularly close to Younger this time around, although these are some very long straights. You're flat out all the way out of the final corner through to the entrance of Lisboa, and that is a lot of straight. Talking of straight, towards Lisboa we go, and Younger maintains the lead of the race. Nicely done. Once again, touches the wall slightly on the outside, although is safe. You can get away with that. As I said, these cars very much reinforced compared to their real life counterparts. Keys Willems there, running P7 on the back of Rattel. Now Rattel used the push to pass that last time around, so whether he got past Willems or whether he was just fending him off, I'm not too sure. Big slide from Keys Willems there, but gets away with it. Segway races 1 on the front there, that's interesting. That's normally a Formula 1 thing, but good to see that in the Lithium series as well. And the fight against climate change being advertised on the right-hand side as well. That, of course, being one of the basics of the Formula E setup, bringing electric racing into cities to advertise what electric cars can do. That's a big slide. Williams locking up a wheel, and or Willems, sorry, not Williams. Sorry to anyone I panicked, but touching the wall on the outside, and looks if his steering is still straight, although he's lost a lot of time to Rattel, and a little too far back to attack this time around. Another lockup into the Melco hairpin, although Rattel got it a little worse up ahead of him. I think touched the wall on the inside. At the end of this lap, Younger has extended his lead to a second. Now, if they were to finish like this, Younger's lead going into the final race would be 11 points, and that's quite a lot. That's quite a lot to gain back, especially considering that race 2 has fewer points on offer than race 1. Realistically, that would be along the lines of Williams would have to finish P2 with Younger outside of the points, or P1 with Younger 7th or lower. So that's difficult. That is very, very difficult. I should quickly work out who's got the most wins for what would happen in terms of countback. Williams has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whereas Younger has 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's Williams who has the most wins in this championship, and he would thus win it on a countback. Now Williams, of course, lost a lot of points to Younger last time out at Miami because he could not make the Miami round. Although Younger decided he wanted the round to go down to the last round of the championship, and so didn't turn up for race 2, and therefore the championship has gone down to the very last round of the season. Sporting from Younger, although I'm not sure that I would have done the same thing. Anyway, Williams briefly back within a second of Younger ahead of him, and drops down again. Dalla Valle now on the tail of Williams and Rittel. Not at a point on the circuit where you want to catch a car, although if you can stick behind the car in front of you until you reach the long straight section, then you have a chance of getting past. And Dalla Valle, of course, has both of his push-to-passes left as well. I'm expecting a lot of these drivers will keep their push-to-passes until the final 5 minutes or so, and then we'll realise, oh hey, I've still got to use these, and suddenly start burning them up. But anyway, Ola, Marshall, and Elston all used them on that last lap. Now for Marshall and Elston, they are well and truly out of the fight here, having been involved in their own accidents. That's a big slide. Running off the wall goes Keys Willems, and that's going to be an opportunity for Gustavo Dalla Valle, who goes up the inside and goes through into 7th, backs out of it. So Keys Willems keeps that at P7 and runs off the wall on the outside. Shades of Habsburg and Sette Camera in the Formula 3 finale a couple of years ago. Martin van Land also using his push to pass as he approaches Dave Southwood, although he's going to get a little balk behind him. Still, Dalla Valle and Willems side by side through Mandarin, and they're in the wall. There's a big coming together, and well dodged from Philip Ola. He dodges both of them, but Dalla Valle and Keys Willems both they went side by side through Mandarin, and they crashed. And that is so easy to do. It's so easy to do because there is not room for two cars there. And even though there technically is, they come out on the exit, and into the wall they both go. So amazing avoidance there from Philip Ola, although Willems and Dalla Valle can't say the same thing about them, I'm afraid. Dalla Valle actually used the push to pass that last time around. Now Oscar Williams is within a second of Younger. The championship protagonists have pulled away a little from Jack Smith, as expected. Nothing against Jack Smith. It's just that he is mainly here to round out a top 3 and pick up any points if something happens to one of the leaders. But anyway, into the Melco hairpin. There you see the slight difference in lanes. Williams is a little tighter on the entrance than Younger. I think Younger's line is probably better through that, although it does take a lot of bravery, but you're not just going to run it into the outside wall. Through Fisherman's. Williams closer than he has been the last few laps. Not yet into the final 10 minutes, so I think he's probably going to keep his push to pass, unless he feels he's close enough to go for a move. The difficulty then is if he does go through, Younger has push to pass of himself, and therefore could go straight back through again the next lap. Oscar Williams sets the fastest lap of the race. He is absolutely charging behind Maxi Younger now. On to lap 5 of the race. Many drivers setting their personal bests as expected. It's about that point in proceedings. And this is the battle that we've all been waiting for, and it's fantastic to see Younger and Williams actually going for it out in front for the championship here. Now, if Williams passes Younger, then he'll go into the final round of the championship, winning by 3 points, and that would be the best case scenario in terms of tension for the championship fight. Because the alternative is Younger leading by 11. That's very close there. Younger really backing Williams up there on the entrance to please. Really backing him up. Possibly made a little mistake through that. Well, Williams was just faster in that section. Maybe trying to frustrate Williams by saying, hey, look how slow I am in this section you can't pass me on. That would be some real mental warfare. You can't overtake into the Macau hairpin. What you can do is assess each other's lines. Look, it does look as if Younger gains through there every lap. And that's a place where Williams needs to have an advantage over Younger if he's going to go for a move. So he's closer once again. He's closer than he was a lap ago. He's within half a second. He was temporarily. Is he going to use the push to pass attack mode substitute this time around? Across the start finish line. Through Reservoir. Next up is Mandarin. This is where Della Valle and Williams came together a couple of laps ago. And they're clean. Williams getting closer and closer towards Lisboa, but here comes the braking zone. Showing his nose to the mirrors of Younger's car. Younger ways to it. Ola, meanwhile, has passed Rattel further back. And that's gutting for Rattel because he just used the last of his push to passes trying to fend that off. So, not a good situation for Rattel there, as Ola gets 6th place. Williams putting Younger under so much pressure here. This is the section of the course where it's easier to make a mistake. And actually, that corner we've just been through there, when I first did a race at Macau, I was just about to take the lead through there because the guy who had been leading had spun off, and he put his foot down as I came through and slammed into the side of my car, and that was that. Not a very fun day. Still feel like I should have won that race, but I won the next race I did at Macau, so I guess that was redemption. I know that these guys are cleaner than that. They wouldn't sacrifice their cars just to try to keep the lead. Down into the Mocha hairpin once again. Williams trying to follow Younger's line. Look at that. They were almost identical that time around, although Williams slightly twitchy on the exit. Rattel, meanwhile, has retired from the race, so we've got our first DNF. And that means that unless Marshall or Elston retires before they reach the point that Rattel was at, it will be Rattel who doesn't get swapped by the reverse grid. Shame for Rattel there. Now look how close Williams is to Younger, less than 0.4 of a second as they approach the start-finish line. Surely he's going to use the attack mode this time around. Oh, Younger uses it. Look at that. Younger's using the push to pass to fend off Williams. Now, if Williams can keep close to Younger here, then he'll have an advantage in the next few laps, because then he'll have the push to pass. And actually, it's very wise of Williams not to use the push to pass that time, because otherwise we would have ended up with a stalemate of the kind that I was talking about earlier, and he wouldn't have had the advantage for the rest of the race. So actually, that was a stroke of genius there from Williams, and he has managed to keep close to Younger with the slipstream, and he does look marginally quicker through the majority of this hilly section. So Williams here has a chance. Still has a realistic chance of winning this race here. Jack Smith, meanwhile, still has to use either of his attack modes, although doesn't really need to. He hasn't been in a situation where it's been any use. I guess he'll probably use them in the final 5 minutes of the race or so, just to see what he can do. I don't think you get a point for fastest lap here, but bragging rights are still very much a thing. Down towards the hairpin we go once again. No overtaking into the hairpin, so there's no chance of a dive bomb. But on the exit... Oh, and Younger there goes wider than usual and touches the wall, and Williams has to check up a little. So I don't think that's going to cost Younger as much as it looked like it would. But that was a little too far wide, little further wide than Younger would have been hoping for. Are they catching a backmarker there? Did I see that correctly? Yeah, look, there's another car just up the road, so hopefully that goes cleanly. That's Jamie Elston who got involved in the first lap incident. Across the start-finish line they go. Now, by my reckoning, this is the penultimate lap of the race, so there's only going to be one more after this. There we go, they pass the back marker on the left-hand side. Nice and clean. Trumander in they go. Williams doesn't feel that he's close enough to use the push to pass effectively. And saves it. This is good strategic racing from Oscar Williams. Younger's had enough to fend off everything that Williams can throw at him so far today. This has been a fantastic championship all the way through. I regret not being able to see too much of it. I saw the first round at Monaco, although I haven't really seen much of anything after that, because I've been quite busy at this time normally. But from what I'm seeing in the championship standings, it's been a very strong one. It's a shame that Alex Cochrane's not racing today. He won both races last time out at Miami. And without him, the Vermin Racing Team cards are free to very much run away with it. You could tell that was going to happen from the very start of qualifying, I'm afraid to say. But it does give us this fantastic battle for the lead of the championship. Williams used his attack mode. Now, where did he use that? It wasn't down into Lisboa, so it must have been somewhere in the hilly section. That's surprising. Yeah, little surprised about that, but anyway. Ooh, bounces off the walls, that was bad. That's going to cost him this opportunity. And considering we're about to start the final lap of the race, that may be his last chance. Little baffled as to why he used his attack mode in the hilly section somewhere, but anyway. Through the final corner and out onto the final lap of the race. Does Williams have enough? I don't think he's going to be close enough down into Lisboa this time around. I think he's going to have to rely on Younger making a mistake towards the end of the lap. Younger leads by half a second. We have a battle on the last lap of the race, but I'm not sure that Williams has enough here. He's approaching. He's getting relatively close into Lisboa. And Younger feels the need to cover him off slightly. That is very close. If he had attack mode there, if he had push to pass, that could have been all over. Look how close he is up the hill. Younger backing him up. Goodness me. And around the outside, that would have been extremely risky. Almost goes into the barriers. He had to go for something. That was... Wow, but that could have been his championship challenge over in an instant. And apparently his push to pass is still active, so it seems... Ah, and that's why it was fast on the straight. So the push to pass lasts an entire lap, does it? Oh, and a big slide! And that surely is the end of this race. Because Williams has been into the barriers. He pushed too hard. And Maxi Younger is going to win this race. Fantastic, fantastic battle they've had. Young is going to go into the final race with an 11-point advantage. That's going to be almost impossible for Williams to beat unless Younger has some kind of an incident. Amazing stuff. Della Valle and Elston, incidentally, are in the pits, so having incidents of their own further back. As we approach the line, it's going to be Maxi Younger who has the advantage going into the final round. He's going to have an 11-point advantage, meaning that that Williams is going to have to at least finish in the top 2, with Younger having some sort of issue that puts him further down the order. He weaves, does Younger. He knows that he's got this victory through the final corner, and after pole position, that's exactly what he wanted to do. Maxi Younger wins, only by 0.8 of a second, but a win's a win. And Oscar Williams couldn't do anything about it. Jack Smith is going to finish 3rd, despite using none of his attack modes. And that's got to be the most straightforward race I've ever seen from a podium finisher. Dave Southwood is going to finish P4. Oh, very twitchy out of the final turn. Has he hit the wall? He's gone straight through the wall. That's interesting. Ghost car. But anyway, Dave Southwood spookily finished his 4th. Martin van der Land is going to finish P5, followed by Philip Oehler. And then Keys Wilhelms will be a little way further back. And that's your lot for race 1. So 8 cars decided to finish the race. Della Valle, Elston, and Rattel did not cross the finish line at the end there. Hopefully they will make it back for race 2. It will be Elston who takes the reverse grid pole. That may actually be why Della Valle and Elston pulled into the pits, because now, of course, they'll be starting 1st and 2nd. So I guess that makes sense. Wilhelms across the line in P7. And Tom Marshall, of course, will be the final finisher. So that's the lot for race 1, but don't go anywhere because we still have a 2nd race coming up, and it's going to be an exciting one. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back everyone to the Macau circuit for the final round of the Formula Lithium Championship, and this is going to be a very exciting finish. We have a partially reversed grid. The top 10 have been swapped on their head, and that means of course that the championship protagonists are going to have to come from the back. The gap is 11 points, meaning that if Maxi Younger finishes in the top 5, he wins the championship, and that of course is because Oscar Williams, if he comes first, then he'll need Younger 6th or lower to win the championship, and if Williams comes second, then he would actually need Younger to come 8th or lower. So it's going to be exciting, especially considering that Williams cannot afford to come 3rd or lower at all. And whatever happens, there is no possibility for a red flag here. Here come the lights. And when they go out, we will be underway for another 20 minutes of racing at Macau. And it's go! Thomas Marshall gets a decent start. We're watching him. And into turn 1, he's going to take the lead, I think, around the outside. So it's going to be Marshall who leads us into Mandarin. The Vermin cars appear to have got away okay as well. Keith Willems is second. Meanwhile, Alston and Delavalli drop to the back. And a big oh no! And 2 of the Vermin cars are involved! Who's got through that one? Smith's got through. Williams is down to the back. Oh, drama on the first lap. There's a big crash at Mandarin, and Oscar Williams is right at the back. He's 9th. Goodness me. Looks like there's only 9 cars in the race, and I think that Younger got a bit of a hit as well. And Williams is going slowly, so if they finish like this, which it looks... Well, they're not going to finish exactly like this, but it looks as if Williams is going to drop to the back as Keith Willems takes the lead of the race. It looks to me as if Younger's won the championship with that one fell swoop. That is a disastrous way for the championship fight to end. Big drama here at Macau, and a big shame in the championship. Here is Younger side by side with Smith. He's probably going to go through here. No, Smith takes 5th, and that rhymes. So it's Willems leading now, followed by Marshall and Van der Land. And more contact there, and Younger's going sideways. No, that's Smith. Smith's in the wall backwards. Smith is in the wall backwards. Oh, and gets walloped by Elston on the way through, just to add insult to injury. Smith is out of the race. Goodness, so only 8 cars remaining. 2 of them didn't even make the first checkpoint. Oh, sideways from Marshall, so Van der Land's going to go up to 2nd. And Southwood's going to take 3rd. Goodness, what a first lap of the race. So... Younger 5th, Williams is 7th, into the hairpin. Hopefully everyone remembers not to go side by side. Southwood touched Van der Land there. And Marshall's out, goodness. And that means that Williams would now need to win the race to be champion. And considering he's 6th, that is very unlikely here. Looks as if he's back up to speed at least, but now despite using the attack mood, is right behind Della Valle and getting stuck behind him, goes through. Okay, so Williams is up to 5th. And now behind his teammate once again. And his steering looks straight. Look at that. Definite frontal damage, but his steering looks straight. Interesting how the attack mood seems to last an entire lap. Della Valle back to the inside into Mandarin. That's dangerous. Don't do what you did a lap ago. And they're both through with Williams still ahead of Della Valle, just about. Goodness me. Second place going at it as well. Vanderland and Southwood both use their attack mood. Oh, and Vanderland is in the wall. Vanderland spun, and I don't know whether there was contact between the two of them, but whatever the case, Vanderland recovers. He's in 6th place. Jamie Elston now in the pits and possibly out, so potentially only 6 cars. And look at Williams and Younger. Williams going through, trying to do exactly what he was doing, trying to do in race 1, and he makes it stick. So Williams is up to 3rd. And crucially ahead of his teammate. He could still do this here, but he would need something dramatic to happen to Younger. Considering there's only 6 cars realistically in this race now, Younger would have to come last with Williams winning. Oh, with Williams winning, sorry. It's still possible. Anything can happen at Macau, but it is very unlikely. Williams' next target is Dave Southwood, and he is going to be absolutely fired up. Williams, that is, not Southwood. Williams has already built out a almost 5-second lead, so even if Williams gets through Southwood, it's going to take him a while to catch up Williams if he can at all. Here we go into the straight once again. Is Younger going to throw a spanner in the works by using his attack mood here? That would really add insult to injury for Williams. Under the banner towards the final corner. I say banner, those are street signs, but anyway. And Younger is using his push to pass, although bounces off the barriers. That's going to cost him some time. The guys do seem to be able to go through that barrier on the exit of the final corner, so interesting stuff. Not sure why he's sticking out at that angle anyway. It doesn't in reality. But anyway. I'm not sure these drivers can see that barrier, because they all seem to be driving through it as if it's not there. Williams going for 2nd. He's up the inside into Lisboa. That's Southwood he's passing, and through he goes. That looked... Ooh, well I was going to say simple enough, but he's hit the wall. Williams can't afford to do that too many times. His car will be handling a little weirdly as it is, I expect. And Younger's up to 3rd, so Southwood drops to 4th in all of that. These is 2 places. Now, 4.6 seconds is the advantage that Williams has over Williams. A confusing battle for first, that would be. With 2 drivers with very similar names, and Williams spins! So Oscar Williams leads the race, Younger is 2nd, and Southwood is 3rd. And Williams did that all by himself because there was no one around him. Younger... Oh, and Williams is right at the back. That's a big shame because he was doing a great job to lead the race by that much. He was doing really well, and now unfortunately he's not doing so well. Now with Williams leading the race, that's what he needs to do. That's all that he can do. And what a comeback this is from Oscar Williams. Remember, I thought that he was out of the race on the first lap of proceedings. But, and Williams I think has spun again. Yep, just lost a whole chunk of time. But he would need Younger to drop to the very back, and if someone else retires now, then Williams wins the championship simply because there's not enough, or there's too much attrition. Sorry, what was that, Carlos? Williams, yeah, so if Younger drops to the back, then Williams wins the championship, but Williams needs for it to happen soon, otherwise someone else might take Younger's spot. Younger might end up being P5 just by virtue of having finished. Not even half the race done yet, goodness me. Now Younger's using attack mode again. Anyway. Through the Lisboa corner. Williams continuing to lead. Let's take a look at Dalla Valle versus Van Land, because they are close on track now, and will be close heading up the hill. It looks as if the lead battle is going to stabilize and stay as it is for a little while. So it might as well look further down the order. Dalla Valle 5 seconds behind Southwood, so off the podium for the time being, and Van der Land bouncing off the barriers. They both bounce off the barriers as I talk there. And Dalla Valle felt the pressure. He's using his push to pass now, and keeping it ahead of Van Land for the time being. So, just a little breather. What a dramatic finale this has been so far. And you can't really feel sorry for Williams now, because he's done everything that he needs to do, and despite that opening lap incident, it wasn't really that's cost him the championship at all, if indeed he does lose the championship. It's the fact that Younger's simply too good. Younger fighting his way through the pack, right as Williams didn't need him to do so, and just keeping it out of trouble. And despite the fact that these drivers started right at the back of the order pretty much, Williams and Younger are able to fight their way through to the front and run away with it. That's how dominant they are. Williams using his attack mode to escape away from Maxi Younger, and sets his personal best lap of the race in the process. Didn't come up as a fastest lap yet, so I think not sure who holds that. Anyway, Southwood and Della Valle both using their attack modes, as is Keys Willems. And we're not even halfway through the race now. The timer ticking down, and we're about to be halfway through the timer at least. The timer was close in the last race to allowing them to do another lap. So if they go quick enough, I don't expect that's going to happen actually, because of the incidents that happened earlier on in the race. But it was theoretically possible that they could have done one more lap than in race 1, but I don't think that is going to happen now. We continue to watch Oscar Williams as he traverses the tricky streets of the Gia circuit. Behind him, Younger is now 3.5 seconds back. And obviously Younger knows that he doesn't really need to push, because second is all he needs. If he finishes there, he wins the championship. And he will have far fewer wins than Williams, but by virtue of greater consistency and by virtue of having made every round, Maxi Younger is going to win the championship. Final 10 minutes of the second race of the day now. Van Land back within a second of Dalla Valle, and Dalla Valle's attack mode has run out. And there they are, actually, heading up towards whereabouts is that? I believe they're about to approach the hairpin, actually. Yep. On the brakes, don't lock up a tyre. It's an awful feeling when you feel your car just skating straight on there. Van Land still has an attack mode ready and waiting for when he feels that he should use it. And this is the only real fight going on track right now, because everyone else is either spread out or dead. Dead as in out of the race, I'm afraid. But anyway. Alex Cochran in the YouTube chat saying, push Maxi, push. Well, he doesn't need to, because, as Dalla Valle makes a mistake out of the final turn, Van der Land goes through, so Van der Land into P4, and turns it into Reservoir. So there we go, that's a move done. Is Dalla Valle going to be able to come back at him? Well, probably not this time, especially considering Van Land now uses the attack mode, his last attack mode available. Win it in style, says Alice Cochran. He could, although he just doesn't need to. He can be steady here and win the championship through that. It's a shame that Williams couldn't make the last round at Miami. If he could, we may well have had a much closer, more exciting, well, not much closer, but a much more fair championship fight. I'm not saying that this isn't fair because Younger has done an amazing job and does deserve this championship, but it would have been interesting to see what Williams could have done there. I don't want to put a dampener on this whole victory, but I think Williams probably would have won it. But of course, we'll never know. Now, Williams made a little mistake there because Younger has actually gained about 2 seconds on him through that sector. And Southwood now has made a bigger mistake. Bounced off the walls. He's got enough of a gap over Van der Laan that it doesn't matter too much. Southwood's still on course for that podium position. Back to Younger. 3 seconds behind Williams. And not really going for it at this point in the race because, as I said, he doesn't need to. Van der Laan caught up about 8 or so seconds on Southwood in that whole excursion, and he's now using attack mode, so maybe feels that he can use it to catch up. Might still have a chance at that podium, and Dalla Valle's not far off him either, so the battle for third possibly heating up, although Van Laan's still a little way off Southwood here. Down towards Mandarin. Flicks it through, keeps it well away from the barriers on each side. I once had an accident there in a race with AIs where one of the AIs ahead of me clipped the inside wall at such an angle that they went flying up into the air right in front of me and smacked my camera view in the face. And I saved that as a GIF because it was so, oh my goodness, that made me jump. If anyone wants to see that, DM me on Discord because it is quite funny and you can imagine why I jumped. But anyway. Luckily, these drivers keeping it a bit cleaner in terms of the inside wall there. Of course, Lawrence Fantor a couple of years ago hit that and flipped and ended up winning the race, pretty much winning it upside down due to the red flag that came out. That was in the GT World Cup. Macau is a track with a lot of history, and today, former Trout adding to that with the crowning of a champion here. Final 5 minutes of the race now. The timer ticking down. They're going to get 2 more laps after this one, I expect. So it'll be 8 laps in total. Let's have a look at Dalla Valle quickly then. Still not particularly close to Van Land, but if Van Land makes a mistake, he'll be right on him. Van Land is a lot closer to Southwood, so maybe the battle for third is heating up here. I said it might, but it looks if it will. Southwood may need to make another mistake though to really catalyze this whole thing. That's very wide there. Whoa, very wide from all 3 of them through the hairpin. It's a corner where you do go wide on the entrance, but not normally that wide. Towards the end of the lap, and Williams has started his penultimate lap of the race now. Only 1 lap left now. Dalla Valle dropping back a little from Van Land with a wide final corner, and Van Land dropped back from Southwood at the same time. That's not what we're going to see. We want to see a battle in these late stages. That would be exciting for the third position. These drivers need to capitalise on opportunities for podiums when they can, because with the dominance of the Vermin cars, it's been difficult to pick up podiums so far this season. Let's have a look at if any of these drivers have had podiums. Southwood, who's currently in third position, he has had 2 thirds. Got one of those last time out at Miami, in race 2, incidentally. Van Land has not had a podium yet, and he actually missed the last 2 rounds. So welcome back to Martin Van Land for this finale. And Gustavo Dalla Valle only made this round and the last round at Miami. and his best result in this season so far has been a 5th place. So looks if he might beat that today. He's in 5th currently. Anyway, interesting to see the order's already been updated in the championship standing sheet I'm using. Good work there from the admins, getting it done very, very quickly. And showing us exactly what we're looking out for here. And it's good to see that my arithmetic was correct as well, because the gap coming into this round was indeed 11 points. Would have been 10, but of course that point for pole position put Younger slightly ahead. Younger incidentally scored pole position at all but what, and they've swapped places. Younger's gone through to the lead. Now I don't understand why Williams has given Younger the place there. It looked as if he backed off and allowed Younger to go through. Maybe he thinks that because Younger's about to win the championship, it would be better for him to cross the line in first and celebrate that way. But anyway, Maxi Younger goes through. Or maybe they just want a final lap fight. The race is still on, so I don't know why they're going side by side. Formation finish, I expect here for the two Vermin drivers. They've basically wrapped up both championships by this point. They've got nothing to lose, so I suppose they're just going for a formation finish. As Cochrane says, no, that's not permitted. That's race fixing. That's what I was wondering too, because yeah, even if Williams was giving it to Younger for so he could cross the line first, that would be a little bit disappointing. But anyway, they're both going relatively slowly here. I do think that they're heading for a formation finish. As I said, they've wrapped up both championships. Younger here effectively needed to DNF for Williams to win the Drivers' Championship now. And they wrapped up the Teams' Championship a long time ago. So this is just them having fun with it now. And who can blame them, really? It's been a long season, and they've put a lot of work into it, and it's paid off. The timer has now ticked to 0. Who are they gonna allow to cross the line first here? Is it gonna be Younger or is it gonna be Williams? Doesn't really matter, but let's see what they decide to do. Are they gonna race to the line, maybe? Younger leads it currently and heads towards Fisherman's. Out of Fisherman's they go. Are they gonna cross the line side by side, maybe? Final corner. And sadly, the battle for third died down a bit. But look at this. The Vermin racing cars come across the line side by side. And Maxi Younger takes the victory and the championship in the process. Well done to Maxi Younger. Technically winning both races today. Realistically, we know that Williams could have won that second race. They rub on each other down the straight and celebrate. Dave Southwood is third, best of the rest. Martin Van Land almost gets cleaned out by Maxi Younger there. And it's Gustavo Dalla Valle and Keys Willems. A slightly disappointing end to the championship, but an exciting day of racing in general. And Maxi Younger, a well-deserved champion there. Really, really good job. So that's a lot. Again, don't go anywhere because we are going to be interviewing our champion as well as potentially anyone else who wants an interview. But I hope you all enjoyed the racing. I certainly did. Second race, it would have been better with more cars. Trouble is, a lot of them DNF'd on the first lap, and from that point on, it was just a matter of finishing for a lot of these drivers. But that's okay. Let's talk quickly to Case Willems, who's the first driver to jump into the interview room. Case, a slightly disappointing race to you then. You were leading it, but what happened?
Well, I lost the car. That's all I can say. I didn't have the best race here. I find this this track car combination really difficult, especially since this is my first time driving at Macau. And given that I already find these cars kind of difficult to drive and keep under control, get into a nice flow. It was kind of expected, though I didn't expect to lead in the second race. Actually, at least that would be an extra point to my amount of laps led in Formula Trout.
And how do you feel about this championship as a whole? You finished quite high up the order, and you've had some good results and some not so good results. How do you look back on it?
Well, I think, well, first of all, I would say a big thanks to Maxi for hosting this season. I know that it is a lot of work, and it has been for him as well. The racing is typically, since they're Formula E cars, they're somewhat close with most of the guys. Maxi and Oscar, those guys are just miles ahead. They are so fast, it's unbelievable. But despite some bad races for me here and there, the season wasn't that bad, to be honest. It was a good one, I'd say.
And finally, before we interview our champion, forgive me if this is rude. Is your name Case or Keys? I'm confused.
It's case. It's just like in Discord, like computer case.
Okay, because it's different on the. Never mind.
Yeah, that's my
Okay.
actual name in the races, but I use case because I'm also head of stewarding, and I review the cases and things like that. So it's like a joke.
Clever, clever.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay, thank you. Anyway, thanks for the interview and good job this season.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for commentating.
So we now do have our champion, Maxi Younger. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
How does that feel?
Pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. That felt like the longest race of my life. I was just, cruising, staying away from all the walls, race two, and just hoping the internet lasts, hoping my rig doesn't combust or something crazy like that.
We had a big advantage after race one. Talk
Yeah.
us through that fight with Oscar. That was intense.
Yeah, that was really intense. I got really lucky with Jack getting in between us. I don't know, like he went crazy amount quicker than his PB in practice. He went like 3/10 quicker in quali. So for a while he was on pole, and then I managed the last lap I did. I managed to jump ahead of both Oscar and Jack because I was third until that point. And obviously then from pole, it was about getting a good start because I knew Jack was sort of gonna make it, fairly easy for Oscar. He would have done the same for me because at the end of the day we're teammates, so he doesn't want to intervene in it too much. Yeah, and then after turn one, after lap one, when I had a bit of a gap, I had like a 1 second gap. It was just about trying to not give Oscar an overtaking opportunity. So even when he got close, I would try to just push like hell and build a gap. But I made a lot of mistakes. I don't know if I don't know how much he focused on that 1-2 battle, but I kept making mistakes because of a lot of pressure. So yeah, then in the end, I managed to keep him behind. He went for that overtake there on the outside, but I blocked it. I think he hit the wall. So I did finish. I did manage to finish first. So that gave me a massive advantage points wise, obviously.
Indeed. And after that, it was just about finishing that second race there.
Yeah.
Talking of the finish, was that a formation finish? What happened there?
I think Oscar wanted to let me win, but I didn't want to let him let me win. so then
That makes sense.
so
I mean, the
then I
championship
would
result would have been the same either way, but
Yeah, I think that, I mean, obviously that's why he did it, but I kept breaking the last over the line just to try and let him pass, but he wouldn't. So so he let me win in the end, which I thank him a lot for. I hope he comes in here for an interview at some point. I don't know if he will, but yeah,
that's the
I
first championship finale I've ever seen where the two drivers fighting for the championship
didn't
wanted
want to
the
win
other person to win the race.
Yes, yes. I thought the same thing over the line. I said the same to Oscar. Like, this is the first race I've seen where the leaders didn't want to win.
That's
Yeah,
amazing stuff.
I guess it happens, you know.
Well,
uh,
congrats on your technically double victory today, and of course your
okay.
championship.
Yeah, thank you a lot. Thanks a lot to to everyone who helped me organize the season, because obviously I was adminning this season. So thanks to Carlis for streaming tonight and doing the being a race director. Thanks to you for commentating, and Ross as well for doing commentary most of the season. Toby as well, he was sometimes there. And thanks for my mom for making a handsome champion like myself.
Great stuff. I hope Russ does see this at some point. I expect he would have enjoyed today.
I expect he might be watching at some point some replay. So
Great stuff. Thank you, Maxi, and we'll see you later. So finally, let's talk to the team boss of the Vermin Art team. Are you there?
I'm indeed. Hello.
Fantastic. So a 1-2-3 in race 1, a 1-2 in race 2, and you've won both championships. That couldn't have gone much better.
Yeah, the season's been pretty incredible, really. Just been so dominant throughout the season, even though there's been great patches of racing throughout the field. We've just seemed to be that little bit more prepared, I think, or ahead. I don't know why. Obviously,
And,
yeah.
sorry.
Sorry about that. With Jack stepping in last minute as well, get that 1-2-3 in the first race is brilliant.
And somehow your cars were about 2 seconds faster in qualifying than any other car. How did you? I mean, what?
Yeah, I'd put that down to the boys. They just got that little bit extra for some reason. I had no idea where they find it because when I step in the car, I'm about 3 seconds off their pace.
Sorry, I just sent a message to the wrong person. Anyway, yeah, indeed. But 2 seconds faster than anyone else. Fantastic, fantastic pace from your car, from your drivers. How much work goes into a dominant season like this? Do you do behind the scenes, comparing setups, comparing lines, things like that?
There's a lot of like talk between team. Obviously, they work really well together. They're always bouncing off like fastest laps and things, best lines. They work on the setups usually together. Where it gets a little bit difficult is Oscar's got different driving styles from Maxi. Oscar prefers his more pointy, and Maxi prefers like kind of a more stable setup.
Fantastic. Well, congrats on your double championship in this season. Absolutely dominant in both as well, and what a team you've got there.
Thank you, and I'll thank the boys and say well done. Just a brilliant season. Thanks for sort of organising it and commentating as well at last minute.
No problem. So that was the team boss of the Vermin Art team there. I hope you all enjoyed it, watching along on the Twitch stream as much as I did. It's been a great day of racing. Thank you as well to Carlos Skermanis for streaming today's action. Couldn't have brought you this broadcast without Carlos there, and I hope that you're going to stick around and watch the upcoming Premier Series races, because that's still going on, and we still have a championship fight or two to be determined in that, or at least second place in the championship to be determined in that. Yeah, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Don't move.